all others. And the scripture that I have is Genesis 2:24 out of the NLT. And it says, this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined into his wife, and the two are united as one, forsaking all others. And most of us take this vow to mean that they vow to forsake emotional and intimate relationships with anyone of the opposite sex who is not their spouse. That's true, but there's more to this than that. What this vow really does is emphasize the first and most important principle for a successful marriage, and that is that the husband and the wife place each other above all earthly relationships. They place each other first above all earthly relationships. And there was this woman that I spoke to before, and she was talking about, you know, how she felt in place in her and the man in her life. And they wasn't even married yet, but she was talking about the place that she felt that she was in. She said, I feel like I'm on 5th place. She said, I come after his family, I come after his job, I come after his church work, and even his yard work. So she felt way down on the scale, and that wasn't the person to marry, because when she got married, it was seen that she would still be in that same place. So it shows you that when you get married, you have to place each other first. Your spouse should not feel like they have to compete for other people, you know, forsaking all others. And we're going to start with your marriage must come before your parents. And a lot of people look at that and say, wait a minute, my parents always been there for me. There's no way I'm going to forsake my parents. And what that forsaking means, it don't mean that you disown your parents or you don't love and honor your parents anymore, because you do. And it doesn't mean that you don't treat your parents right and you don't treat them with respect, because you do. But when you get married, like the scripture says, this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and he's joined to his wife, and the two become one now. So where your parents were up here, now your spouse is up there. Your spouse has become the first person in your life now. And I know we have to make sure that we don't keep running home, running backwards and forward. Every time something happens, we run back home, then we'll go back, and then something else happens. We keep running backwards and forward to our parents' house. And that's not what God wants us to do. He wants the husband and wife to come together to build a strong bond so that you can work things out together. And that means you have to forsake your parents, because you can't put them up there in top of your spouse. And then talking about the children. No, one other thing I want to talk about is with the forsaking the parents. When you have a disagreement with your spouse, you can't keep running and telling your parents everything about your spouse, especially all the bad stuff that your spouse may be doing, because you know the parents love you and they're going to look at your spouse in a way that is not good. So you got to learn how to stick. The Bible says cleave together, stick together, and become one with your spouse so that you can work things out together. And forsaking all others, the children. You know, we love our children. We want the best for our children. We do things with our children, but we have to keep that balance with our children, because there's going to be times when the children are going to leave. And I heard before that children are a temporary assignment. They're not with you all your life, even though it's some children that take them a long time to leave the nest, but one day they're going to leave. And you can't put so much into your children as far as spending all your time with them, doing everything with them, that in the meantime, the spouses, you forget about each other. So you have to be able to build that bond with your spouse. Put the children in the correct order they're supposed to be in. Put the spouse in the correct order that they're supposed to be in. And you will be able to create that balance with their children. Because there are a lot of extremes where the children leave, and the spouse, the husband and wife look at each other and they're like, I don't even know you, because my life was built for 18 years on raising the children. And once the children get grown, they don't want you following them all over town, you know, all in their business and all that. If you're married, you're supposed to be focusing on each other. And like I said, your children are going to grow up and they're going to leave. So you got to put them in the right place. And